Hey bag makers, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to Sewcial Sunday. Danny's getting things set up behind the scene. I see Pat's watching from California, Jennifer from West Virginia, Mary from Washington, and Genevieve from Texas. So welcome. Thank you for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. I'm scheduled to talk to you about a few things during the show that I've linked to in the description. So if there's ever a time where you're curious to find out more information about topics that I talk about during Sewcial Sunday, just check that link in the description and you can find out more information there. So Danny's making sure our YouTube and Facebook streams are both working as they should, and he'll be joining me on set in just a minute. So last few weeks we started implementing an extra live giveaway at the beginning of the show, and so I'll give you a few seconds to get your comments in. You can comment about, I've seen a lot of comments come in where you're watching from, just a simple hello, and so all of those comments will be counted, and of course we'll still have our normal giveaway for both live viewers and viewers of the recording of the show at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Welcome, Danny.
Hey, glad to be here.
Everything going okay with technology tonight?
Always.
Yes.
Sarah, I'm sorry, excuse me. Scoot over a little.
right.
Unless you want the logo, which is not a downgrade, I guess.
Logo covering your face?
Yes. I need a haircut.
All right, so why don't we get over to the $25 gift certificate for the live drawing?
This is going to be interesting.
Oh.
Okay, I'll just reach over.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. What numbers am I choosing from tonight for the giveaway?
Pull that up.
Okay.
23?
I'm going to pick...
Well, it's just what's 26?
20.
20. 1 through 20.
Number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Patty P.
Patty P, congratulations. You're the winner of the $25 gift certificate to sewsweetness.com. So if you could email me after the show, and my email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, Sarah with no H.
Congratulations.
A couple of reminders. The Bellow Pouch Sew-Along is underway, and we are in the middle of week 2. So if you are interested in participating in that, the link is in the description, and each week was a small manageable task. During the week, in the middle of this week, I will be posting a link up on my blog, and my blog is located at sewsweetness.com/blog. So you'll have from December 17th until I think January 2nd, the beginning of January, to complete your Bellow pouch if you would like to participate and post a photo of your finished project. Again, I won't have that blog post until the middle of this week. But we'll have prizes for participation, and I know just based off of photos that I've seen in the Facebook group, a lot of people have been making the Bellow pouch for Christmas gifts this year, so that's really amazing and wonderful to see all the different variations of the Bellow pouch. Also, the December challenge is underway. You have the whole month of December to complete one of the new patterns that I've come out with this year, so there's 8 new patterns that I released this year, including the widget messenger bag, and the Bellow pouch is another one of them. And the prize for that one is a $100 gift certificate to sewsweetness.com, and you have until December 31st to enter a photo of your completed project, and more details are linked to in the description in case you're interested in reading more about that. So I wanted to mention a couple of items about shipping times. So in the last newsletter that I sent out, which was December 1st, we featured our acrylic template for the seam guide. So the seam guide came out about a year and a half ago, but apparently since it was listed in the newsletter, some of you either may not have seen it before, or maybe you're newer followers. Anyway, we had a huge waiting list for the seam guide. We just got them in stock yesterday, and I listed them in stock. However, the large amount of orders that we got, massive amount of orders that we got in for the seam guide, or just regular orders.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Thank you so much for your support. But I felt like it was important to mention that due to the amount of orders, we can only fulfill a certain amount each day, especially because of social distancing. It will be set back about 3 or 4 days in packing up orders. We'll be attending to the orders as they've come in. So the
first come, first serve.
First come, first serve. I wanted to mention that because I don't know if some of these orders were made as gifts or items to sew into gifts. But in case that time frame won't work for you and you've placed an order, if you'd prefer a refund instead, you can always email me at sarah@sewsweetness.com, Sarah with no H, and I'd be happy to help you with that. We just wanted to be completely transparent, and we know there are also postal delays going on with the Postal Service because of the pandemic as well as the holidays. So I don't know if we feel comfortable guaranteeing orders by Christmas. So we just want to be...
we'll get our orders out by Christmas, especially if you order in the next few days. But
Right.
we generally 24 to 48 hours orders are accepted, and then we ship them out within that time period. But USPS is under a heavy load because
I feel
pandemic.
like it's more important to be honest rather than just being quiet and just
And lead you along.
taking
Yeah.
as many orders as we can. So we just want you to be aware. And if you need to make other arrangements for bags you're making for the holidays, we're out. Danny and I, as well as Bronwyn, are on emails every day. And email us if you have a concern or question, and we're happy to help
More
you.
than glad to help. Yep. Well, Sarah, I don't know if this is part of your plan of stuff, but I'm going to jump to it because I
Okay.
saw a comment come through, and this is from Pip saying hi to Tamara, who's also our friend. Hi, Tamara. Pip, I saw your bag in the group, and I thought, it was actually the persimmons pouch, but you took it outside, and I don't know if you're in Arizona or possibly, but the backdrop looks so amazing. I was so happy. It made me think like summertime. I don't know why I'm thinking
Vacation.
about summertime yet, because I don't know, is it even winter? But gosh, I was so happy. Sarah, if you can hit that nice button that says, let me take the comment away first.
Is it this one right
I'll
here?
beat you to it.
Okay.
Boom. This is Pip's persimmon collection, as she's got 4, 8, 12. Is that 16 right there? But gosh, look how awesome that is. I mean, I want to come over there, tent, I'll camp outside. It looked so awesome, Pip. You did a great job in the persimmons as well. But that backdrop, just like, oh, please give me the warmth. I'm cold already.
It reminds me of a photo from a fashion magazine where the model will be like in a bathing suit, but
Oh,
like
yes.
on the cliff, except with persimmon pouches. So
Yes. The
Great job.
persimmons. Yeah, great job, Pip. Awesome work.
we also have recently been featuring your bag making shops on our show. We just wanted to lend our support for all of the bag makers that sell bags and pouches either at craft fairs, online, Etsy, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you sell. And so the featured shop for tonight is from Michelle York Design. And so I pulled 3 photographs from Michelle's shop. Is it this one right here?
Shop is shop.
All right. And this is Michelle York Design. Her Etsy shop is linked to in the description in case you're interested in checking out Michelle's shop or purchasing one of her items like this Shaquille O'Neal zipper pouch. So
Super
clever.
fun. I love it.
There were
I love the
also-
stitching too. I mean, it's just great job.
Yeah, it's awesome. There was also a sushi similar shark pouch, and just beautiful work, great photographs, and yeah, beautiful shop, Michelle. If you're interested in being featured on one of our future Sewcial Sunday shows, I've linked to our quick little survey in the description. We just need a few bits of information from you if you'd like to be considered, and we'll be featuring shops as long as there are more shops in the list to feature.
Can I just say it's sort of no fair that Bronwyn gets to experience summer while we're going through winter, because gosh,
Bronwyn lives in New Zealand, and so their seasons are
flip-flopped.
reversed. So we have winter right now in Chicago, and Bronwyn has summer in New Zealand. So yeah, thinking about summer for sure today. We had a little bit of snow on the ground this morning.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Danny's second favorite part of the show when he gets to be on it with me every other Sunday.
Can Sarah do it?
We'd like to invite all
Uh-oh.
of the... No,
Come
I
on,
cannot
Sarah, you
find
can do it.
We have this little tablet device with all these buttons, and Danny queues up all the pictures and videos that we'll be showing on the show, the current show. And so he has them all labeled, and is this right here?
Nope. Close to it. Hot. Getting warmer, Sarah. Hot and cold. Quick. Pick the next one close.
We're wasting time. Just
Boom.
find it for
Look
me.
at squad.
We'd like to invite all the bag
Are you
makers.
part of the squad?
We'd like to invite all the bag makers to stand proud. Let us know in the comments that you're part of the Sew Sweetness squad. We're so happy that you're part of our bag making community.
Definitely.
On this bag making journey together, and it delights me that so many holiday gifts are being made from Sew Sweetness patterns. So
Speaking of the squad, I'd like to mention again, if you have not noticed, our YouTube channel is growing amazingly, but we're getting very close to 100,000, a few thousand off, maybe 10,000. But if we reach that, and when we do, because I'm sure we will, we're gonna have an awesome set of giveaways. I think it's gonna be an amazing time. So if you guys are not currently subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go out and do it. And I promise you guys will be excited as I am about giveaways. You're gonna love it, and the faster we get there, the faster we get to give stuff away. And gosh, I love giving stuff away, so please
Yeah, I know you do.
subscribe.
It's totally true. All right, so we're about that time for the questions. So if you have any questions for me, they can be bag making related questions, questions about a notion or tool, sewing related questions. Go ahead and type your question in the comments right now. You'll need to be logged into either your Facebook or your YouTube account before you're able to type in a comment. And Danny's found it helpful lately if you either type a little question mark before you type your comment, or if you just type it in all capital letters, it just helps him spot the questions out of all the comments that are coming through. And one more thing that I forgot that I didn't even write on my outline. Let's see. Can we hang on the question for just 1 second? First I wanted to announce the winner of last week's giveaway, and that is Sierra Bray. And I've already contacted Sierra on social media and heard back from her. So congratulations to you, Sierra. And we made cookies today. So we made Lebkuchen, which is in German gingerbread cookies. And I just wanted to share with you, I apologize, I did not have Danny suggested I use a colored plate, and I said, well, all our plates are white. So
I said a dark plate, not necessarily.
maybe we can hold up a couple cookies so the camera can pick them up. Gingerbread cookies, you can either leave them not frosted or frosted.
Look, against my shirt, it's very easy to see.
Violet made a bunch of horses. We had a new horse cookie cutter this year.
Gallop along. He's got to go backwards.
I know a lot of you, my Amma's, which is my grandmother in German, apple cake. I've gotten a lot of emails from people making her apple cake recipe. So this is her Lebkuchen or gingerbread cookie recipe. If you're interested in that, the recipe is in the comments. The recipe makes about 100 cookies depending on the size of your cookie cutters. Amma, can you have the recipe? Make less cookies? You can have the recipe if you don't need 100 cookies, but the kids ate so many. This is their favorite cookie, and as you can see, that they had a lot of fun decorating with sprinkles. So can you eat one
on the show?
Sure, you can, I guess.
I'm kidding.
Since you're not answering questions generally. All right, so go ahead. You can put your questions on the screen now.
Go ahead, comment. Boom.
There we go. Barb says, how many hours does it take to make the cooler? So the Picnic in the Park cooler is from Minikin Season 2. Even though it is a bigger project, it has a minimal amount of pieces. Maybe, I don't usually time myself when I make the projects, but maybe 4 or 5 hours, depending on speed of sewing. And that's taking into account that you've gotten your fabric and interfacing cut out and fabric attached to your interfacing.
Lots of questions are rolling in.
All right, great. Fantastic. I think you said the last few weeks that there have been a large amount of questions.
Yeah, we are not able to keep up with the amount of questions. We do our best.
We appreciate all the questions, though. They've been great.
And also, if there's a delay, it's because I'm literally grabbing the questions from the time. So it may take Sarah 10 minutes, and you may answer a question like, why is my question not being answered? It's because we have 10 minutes of questions previous still being answered. So we do try to get to it.
Linda says, my hubby wants some ideas for Christmas gifts. What are some must-have notions you would recommend? My favorite notions are, I love
Precision turn tool.
Precision turning tool is a good one. And you can find all these on my website. The Easy Point and Turner, that's on my website. A lot of these I also have videos in the product listings showing how to use the tools. What else do I like? Just basic tools that I use all the time, like friction pens, Clover Choco. Some of the acrylic templates are helpful. We have general acrylic templates for marking zipper pockets, rivets on your bags, purse feet. So we have acrylic templates for all of those that you can use for whatever bag that you're making. So those are probably near the top of my list. Nancy says, where do you buy waterproof fabric? So a few weeks ago on Sewcial Sunday, I talked about OtterTech's waterproof canvas, and I purchased mine on Etsy. So if you just type that in the Etsy search, OtterTech's waterproof canvas, it comes in lots of different colors. It even comes in a few prints, and It's great to use for the outside of the bag, or lots of people have been using it for the lining so they can skip out on using shape flex because it is canvas fabric. It's a little bit thicker and nice to use for that. If you prefer to use a fabric you already have and turn it into a waterproof fabric, you can use a product called Odie Coat, which is a gel that you paint onto the fabric, let it dry, iron it flat, and then you can cut it to the size that you need in your pattern pieces. And we do sell that on the website as well. Charlie says, who doesn't need 100 cookies?
There was a few comments, including Charlie's, that said, who in the right mind does not want 100 cookies? Speaking of the precision turn tool.
Kristen says, where did you get that precision turner? I've seen in some of your videos. Do I even have it on the table, Danny? Sometimes I do. The precision turning tool is a metal tool with a little metal ball on the top. We just got a whole ton back in stock, so we're fully stocked on those, and it's great for turning your projects right side out and gently poking out the corners. For example, if you're making a slip pocket and you'd like to gently push out the corners, the nice thing about that tool is that because it has the little round metal ball at the top, it won't tear through your fabric if you're being a little aggressive with turning your corners. So I really love that one. And the Easy Point and Turner also does that particular function, as well as a lot of other functions like feeding straps and elastic and cording and things like that. Angie says, how do you make the icing? So the actual icing is just 2 ingredients. The recipe for the cookies as well as the icing is in the description, and it's really easy. The kids helped, and they had a great time, and the cookies are really fast. I know 100 cookies sounds like it would be really time consuming, but if you have a team together working on the cookies, it's a great process.
My strategy initially was to say, grab the cookie, dunk it in the icing. Other people might have mentioned take like a butter knife and you apply it evenly, more thin coats. But I'm on the half of let's get a lot of icing on there, nice and thick. Violet agreed with me, so that's what Violet did.
Yeah, I could tell Violet's horses all have a lot of icing on them.
Yes, they do. It's amazing.
In making the Turnpike wallet, can you substitute Decoville for the fleece to make it more stable? Turnpike wallet. I think the Turnpike wallet already did have either Peltex or Decoville. I haven't used it with just like a thickness like that, but I think you certainly could. I don't see why you could not substitute that for the fleece. I kind of like a little softness to my projects, but I know that's just a personal preference. So the fleece would certainly deliver the little bit of softness or fluffiness. Jeanette says, speaking of persimmon, does the outer have to be the strips or can it be a solid fabric? It certainly can just skip out on the accent. If you'd rather just make it a single fabric rather than the accent strip at the bottom, you can just skip the accent, leave that off, and the whole project can be just cut with solid fabric on the, not solid fabric, but a single fabric on the outside. That would be fine. How do I get started making bags? I've never made a handbag from vinyl. What tools and pattern would be a good beginner pattern? So I think you can probably answer this. What do you think about good beginner
Baker
bag?
Street bag, easy leather hobo bag, Oreo, is it crossbody bag?
Oreo bag. And if you'd like to make it with vinyl, I do have a free video on my YouTube channel, how to sew with cork fabric, which you can find by just typing in the search box on my YouTube channel.
All those patterns are also free on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, free patterns with free videos. And a lot of the things I talk about during the cork video will also apply to the vinyl. So it's a good video to reference if you've never sewn with either cork or vinyl before. Maria says, what is the best needle size for my Janome while sewing in the heavyweight webbing straps? I get skipped stitches. I do have, speaking of more free videos, I have a free video on my YouTube channel, needle sizes for bag making. So I talk about needle sizes as well as needle sizes for different fabrics while you're making a bag. So I think you'll find that video helpful for that. If you're still having skipped stitches after trying a different needle, you can always email me. My email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, and I'm happy to help if I can. Does it really help to sew 2 times when using vinyl so you don't see the stitches? So I think you're possibly talking about when you sewed the bag together, the
like
areas where the seam are, maybe seeing like a ladder of stitches. You might need to adjust your vinyl and you can, not vinyl, adjust your tension. You can always do a little tester project before starting work on your regular project after you've adjusted your tension by using a little, maybe 2 scraps of foam interfacing as well as the fabric that you're using for the exterior. So for instance, if you're using the vinyl, use the 2 layers of the foam interfacing with the 2 layers of the vinyl to simulate what a seam will look like in the finished bag. Adjust your tension, try sewing that seam, see how the stitches look when you kind of finger press it apart. And if you need to adjust your tension further, you can do that and keep testing. You can keep testing on that same little scrap. Melissa says, have you thought about making custom zipper pulls? Actually, I have not. Would you be interested in zipper pulls that say something universal and generic in regards to bag making? I've seen handmade zipper pulls out there that actually say handmade, or would you prefer some other different text?
We can maybe start like a poll or something.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
a good
get
idea.
some ideas. Maybe
Yeah.
you submit some, and then we could start a poll and, pursue it further.
Yeah, for sure. May we have her cake recipe too? I did post it a few weeks back when I talked about the apple cake on the show. So email me and I can get you the link to where I blogged about it. So I made a blog post about the apple cake. Oh, we do have a new search feature on my website. So if you go to sewsweetness.com, there's a little magnifying glass. If you click on that and type in apple cake, where I blogged about it, that link should come up and you'll find the recipe over there. I forgot about the new search tool on the website. Tamara says, yes, stitching the seam twice on vinyl really does help worth the extra time. Thank you so much for piping in with that, Tamara. I've sewn with vinyl for bags before in the past, especially for accents, but I've never done the double stitch, so that's really good advice. Thank you. Elaine says, what brand of rotary cutter do you use? I have several OFA rotary cutters. I also have tried out other brands, such as, I think I have a Kai rotary cutter. I've used Fisker's rotary cutter, so I have like a collection of rotary cutters going. I do still use the OFA one the most often, though. Let's see. Nicole says, can you iron cork fabric? So I would suggest finger pressing, especially if it's the finished bag, keeping the iron away from the right side of the cork. If you need to iron the wrong side of the cork, do so gently and use a pressing cloth. I would try to iron the cork the least amount you possibly can. Use finger pressing if at all possible, or if the bag is finished, which is something I often do, I just finger press it and place wonder clips all around the entire bag for at least an hour or two. When you pull those wonder clips off, it should be nicely pressed. You want to heat the cork as little as possible to avoid any breakdown of the fabric over time. Not that I expect that to happen, but since the cork is bonded to the backing fabric, I guess it is a potential tiny minuscule concern. Dalva says, are there light pinking shears? So I have a couple of pinking shears. I have the Fisker's brand pinking shears and I have the Kai brand pinking shears. I do like the Kai ones a little better. They're both slightly heavy. I don't know if heavy-handed would be the right word, but the Kai ones definitely are a little bit smoother, but I feel like just because of the nature of the type of blade, it's definitely not as smooth as regular scissors. Since I have 2 different brands, I wonder if that's just how it goes with pinking shears. But let me know if you have a different brand that I haven't tried yet. Cindy says, a gift certificate for Sewcial Sweetness is a perfect gift. Thank you so much for that comment, Cindy. We've had a lot of people, especially in the last few weeks, purchase gift certificates from Sewcial Sweetness for their family members. So I've gotten emails from husbands or children lately asking about gift certificates. So I think that's a really great gift. And with the gift certificates, your giftee can purchase patterns, videos, supplies, whatever they want. Linda says, Danny, when do we get to see your bag completed? What a great gift for the squad to see.
You know, I thought about it. I've been getting a lot of pressure, mostly from family members outside of Sarah. And I think I'm going to readdress my situation, take some advice, and not start with the park sling bag. I think I need to start with a nice, easy pouch. And I will do this if we reach when we reach 100,000 followers on YouTube, I promise to make a bag. And I made
A pouch or a pouch?
Not a bag. I'll take that back. Let me reverse that. An easy starter level bag.
Pouch.
Bag, pouch. Sarah, bag, pouch. Okay. And I'm probably going to incorporate my children. Let's do this as a team. I'm a team person. I like doing stuff as a group, a unit. I'm going to force my son. Hopefully my daughter will enjoy it as much as Sarah enjoys it. And I think we'll all three of us do it together. And possibly I'll film this while doing it. So it's proof that's not Sarah just did it and said, hey, Danny, look, you got a new pouch. Like, yeah, it only took me 3 hours and yeah, it wasn't that hard. I'm like, thank goodness Sarah made it for me.
That's great. Yeah, I think the park sling for your first ever sewn project was a bit ambitious.
Yeah. I'm like, I've seen Sarah do it. Didn't look that hard.
Roberta says, what is your overhead light fixture? I need more light in my sewing room. So that's your department.
We just have, our office is a converted dining room. It had 2 fixtures previously for the dining room table. And we just have LED fixtures above our head, to be honest. It's not anything special. But we do have an additional light that you can attach to the table. And it's called an Elgato key light, if that's something you're looking for. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're streaming like we do, because you need a really bright atmosphere. As far as overhead light fixture for a sewing studio, they have those floor lamps that shoot up towards your ceiling, and if you have a white ceiling, it'll bounce off and give you a more even lighting without harsh shadows. So I would recommend looking for a floor lamp that is it
any kind of floor lamp, or
no, you want to get the one that shoots on the ceiling, because actually when it hits the ceiling, it's going to bounce off and give it nice even light. So it's not like if you get a lamp that shoots a light down at you, you'll get harsh shadows and it looks not as nice, I guess. Not just for videos, I mean actually while you're working.
Oh, okay.
So I would recommend a floor lamp that shoots on the ceiling, preferably LED, so it's less expensive, runs cooler as far as running wise. And look for YouTube reviews, honestly. Sarah, you may have people I've seen in videos. I know Sarah Diddy uses a brand of sewing lights that you sit on your table and different stuff, but I'm not familiar with that, so I don't want to speak on it. So
okay, fair enough.
I didn't know if you knew something. All right, Sarah, have you used wax canvas before? Kathleen wants to know.
I talked about that OtterTex wax canvas on a show a few weeks back. I haven't sewn with it, but tons of people in the Sew Sweetness group are using it for linings of their bags, so then they can skip out on the ShapeFlex interfacing for the lining, as well as having the lining be waterproof. So I've heard nothing but rave reviews about sewing with it, and I still have my piece as to be used on a future project. Arlene says, what's the best fabric pen to use? So there's 2 things that I use 100% of the time. So friction pens, which come in different colors. I think I have a blue one over there. Can you hand me the blue one? And no, that's not a pen.
All right, I'll see if you're paying attention.
And the white thing? No, yes.
I'm going to give you everything.
Okay, so the friction pens come in different colors. They do disappear with the heat of an iron, but they can at times leave a little ghostly remnant of it, or if it's really cold, the marking might slightly come back. So I tend to use this for an area of the finished bag that won't be seen or marking on the wrong side of the fabric. If I do need to mark on the wrong side of the fabric, such as for strap placement, I will use Clover Choco, and I recommend only getting Clover Choco in white. I've used all of the other colors before, such as pink, blue, yellow, and silver, and the projects that I've used those other colors on have not removed completely from the fabric, which was disappointing when I finished the project. So either Clover Choco in white, or if you prefer not Clover Choco, Sewline. Oh, I happen to have this in front of me. Sewline Pencil Trio, which comes in 3 different colors, white, black, and pink. It's in the same, you just turn the dial and it changes the color for you. And we do sell all these products on our website, and I use them all the time. If you've watched one of my bag making videos, you've probably seen me use 2 or all 3 of these in a project.
I guess, Charlie, sir, you want to say how you say this correctly? Is it a touche lamp?
I've never heard of that, so I don't know what that is.
Neither have I.
Do you want to put it on the screen just so people can see how it was spelled?
Yeah, someone else said the same thing. So this is probably correct because multiple people said it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, though.
And you responded.
I answered that one already, yep. Dawn says, do you have a pattern for small irons to use for classes? My friend Sarah emailed me about this recently. My memory is so poor. I think she said the Kismet Trinket box would work for the small irons. There's a few different brands of small irons, or one of the Crimson and Clover tring cases. But if you have the small iron, verify the size of your iron with the finished size of the pattern before you start working on that. But I'm almost certain that that's what my friend Sarah was talking about for those little irons. Kathy says, how do you keep your zippers, excuse me, from being bumpy? So sometimes when zippers, especially if they're coming in packaging, if they've been folded over, sometimes they have the little kind of kink where they've been folded, especially the zippers that are nylon zipper teeth. I generally iron them either on the right side or the wrong side of the zipper. I try as much as possible to just be ironing the tape edges of the actual zipper. If you need to, for whatever reason, iron in the middle, use a pressing cloth and make it as quick as possible, like a quick swipe through, but otherwise try to stay on the tape as far as getting that the bumps out from the zippers.
Karen's helping. A torchie or
Oh, okay.
I butcher words all the time, and I appreciate you for
Thank
breaking
you.
down the syllables, because I am terrible at that. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Carmen says, use question. Use a Teflon foot when your fabric is OD coated. Yes. Either laminated fabric or if you use OD coat, which kind of creates a laminated fabric, definitely use your Teflon foot. Or if you don't have a Teflon foot, you can use a walking foot instead.
Didn't someone also say if you have not a Teflon foot, you can put like tape or something
Painter's tape you can
on
put
your foot to help it glide? And I'm wondering if OD coat's a thicker substance. When I don't know if it's gonna be as smooth going through. If there's a paper you can apply above that, so when it goes through, it's on the paper the foot's touching instead of the OD coat.
I've used all those things before. The painter's tape was sort of hit or miss for me. I have used the tissue paper, like similar tissue paper when you go to the doctor's office, what they have draped over is it called a chair or a... the tissue paper is fine. Exam table, and you sew through it. The tissue paper's fine. It just sometimes leaves a lot of little pieces of
you gotta
tissue.
take off and clean, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of a pain. So
Very
if
tedious.
you do have the Teflon foot or the walking foot, those would be the best. Debbie says, do you have a video on how to make your own labels and what your best practices are for applying them on a bag or quilt? Kind of. So I did a video, I think it was over the summer, how to print on fabric. You should be able to find that by doing a search on my YouTube channel. I compared, I think, 3 or 4 different brands and maybe 4 or 5 different products of printable fabric, so fabric that you can print on your home printer, and I compared them for how crisp they were and how the colors looked. So if you're interested in that review, check for that on my YouTube channel. I have not, however, made a video on quilter bag labels specifically, but you could use the information from that fabric, printable fabric video, and I'll write that down on my list for a future demonstration. Maybe I can zero in on the not only printing of the labels, but how to apply that on your project. Laura says, the suitcase pattern can use Peltex for like traveling with your smaller crafts. Yes, you certainly can use Peltex for making lids of certain patterns stiff. So I'd recommend using the foam interfacing and then sliding in the Peltex at the end before you top stitch the lid. And I use a similar method for other similar projects like the Amethyst project bag, the Creative Maker supply case. All of those have a piece of either Peltex or Decoville Heavy inserted near the end of the pattern, and it makes it nice and crisp and stable. Let's see. Allison says, have you used, or is there much of a difference between Annie Soft and Stable versus Pella and FF70? The price difference is huge, and I'm trying to get my price of bags down, but also don't want to sacrifice shape and quality. So if you're making bags to sell, it might be helpful to investigate a wholesale account so you can purchase or as many supplies as you can wholesale. I do personally use by Annie Soft and Stable, which is a sew-in interfacing. Pellon also makes foam interfacings, either sew-in, single-sided fusible, or double-sided, as does Bosel. It's just personal preference which brand you like the best. And another difference from the Soft and Stable and the Pellon Flex Foam is that The flex foam is 20 inches wide generally by the bolt, and the soft and stable is, I think it was 58 inches. So wider, sometimes having that wider width helps you be more economical with laying out your pattern pieces and using up the interfacing. Great question. Denise says, what speed do you run your machine? So my Juki has a speed control dial on the side. There's a little rabbit, which is the fastest speed, and a little picture of a turtle, and mine is exactly halfway in the middle.
Sir, take a drink of water. Relax for a second. I'll slow it down. We don't want
Okay.
to. You're like a racehorse. You're off really fast. Slow down. We got plenty of time. There's only 80 questions queued up. It's fine.
Do you really have that many queued
No,
up?
I don't. I'm just kidding. All right, there you go. That's enough time. All right, come on, sir. It's enough.
Allison says, do you have any videos on making vinyl or cork as a zipper pull, but not as tassels? I don't think I have, although I've used like faux suede cording for zipper pulls before, but it really wasn't. I don't know if it was enough to do a demonstration on. I think I might have shown it as in the fabric section on Sewcial Sunday, maybe a couple years ago. But I found this really cool faux suede cording on Etsy. It was really thin. It might have been maybe 1/8 of an inch in thickness, and I just cut a little length of it and kind of looped it through the zipper, tied a knot, and that was it. But it looks really cute for pulls. Karen says, what are the best weight threads to use for sewing vinyl and also for the bobbin? So for bag making, I generally use Orifil 40 weight thread on the top and in the bobbin. I know some people like to use polyester, and that's completely fine as well. That's just what I personally use for bag making. Michelle says, when sewing with upholstery thread on cork, what type of thread should be used in the bobbin? I use the Juki TL 2010Q. While I have used upholstery thread before, I've only used it for hand sewing handles or straps into a bag. I haven't actually used it in my sewing machine. So if anyone else has any advice about that as far as what bobbin thread to use, let us know in the comments. Danny will keep an eye out for it, but I've not personally done that before. Sarah will take any time off over the holiday. I think I want to break from sewing for a couple of weeks. We are taking a little bit of time off from social media over the holidays, but we'll still be conducting our daily things that we take care of, like answering emails. We're still going to be working. We're just going to, social media will take a break as far as like the daily posts on Instagram and Facebook and all that. Karen says, if you're filming, who will do the sewing?
It was
about you?
Yeah, it was about me. And that's how far delayed from that the two points are. But yeah, I think that's funny. Yes, I'll have it automated so I can do it myself at the same time. I think I could handle both duties.
Okay. Laura says, where can you get the light you're speaking of on your table?
You can go right to the website. It's elgato.com, I believe.
It's spelled
ELGATO.com. And they'll have a link to people in your area that sell it. So stateside, it's Amazon, Best Buy. But if you're overseas or in Canada, it might be different.
Jennifer says, do you buy interfacing by the bolt or by the project? I seem to be going through so much lately. So I do buy all the interfacings by the bolt because I know I'll use them eventually. I guess it just depends on what's more cost effective for you or what works with your sewing lifestyle. Terry says, uh-oh, Danny, my husband said he's going to subscribe because he wants to see you make a bag or a pouch.
Please do. Thank you.
I wonder if you'd like making one with wax canvas. Would you like to have?
That sounds like it's another challenge,
yeah, that's
Sarah.
true. Just start with something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Simple.
I want something. It's gonna be a win. I want to get that win under my belt, and we'll go from there.
Tracy says, hey, Danny, my husband said that he'll make a bag if you do. Should we turn it into... Well, I don't want to put pressure on you.
I know for a fact I'm gonna attempt it. I know if it's a small pouch, it's not gonna be very difficult to sew many pattern pieces to cut it apart. So I assume it's gonna be done within 12 hours, so I can do it on one day. And as long as you promise not to run away and hide or read your book when I need assistance or help, I'd like you to be readily available so we can get one for the team.
Let's see. Delia, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. Do you sell all the markers and the chalk? Yes, we have the friction pens. Oh, I didn't mean to throw that. I didn't mean to throw that at you.
I'm sorry. I didn't need your help.
At Sew Sweetness, the Sew Sweetness website, we sell the friction pens as well as friction markers, the Clover Choco, the Soline pencil trio that I mentioned. We have all those. Dot says, what other patterns can I use all the lace zippers I have? I love the Windsor pouch, but not that many. If so, then how? Technique tips. So if you're adapting a different pattern to use the lace zippers for instance, maybe the persimmon pouch. I haven't done that myself yet, but you would sew the pouch in a similar manner to what you did with the Windsor. So instead of, normally with this, when we're sewing a zipper in, we sew the exterior to the zipper, then we sew the lining to the wrong side of the zipper, and then we turn it right side out. For the lace zippers, you need to sew all of your pieces right sides together, so your exterior and your lining right sides together, and then the lace zipper goes on after you have the finished edge. So the assembly will be a little different, but since you've made the Windsor pouch before, I'm guessing you can probably adapt it for a similar simple pouch, like perhaps the persimmon dumpling pouch.
So there's a bunch I just queued up that
Okay.
I saw.
The upholstery
and
thread?
the upholstery thread. I'm just gonna run through them so you can read them. We'll just
Okay.
jet through them.
Okay. Same bobbin thread for the upholstery thread. Thank you, Marilyn.
Oh, sorry. I'll key that one back up as next one.
Okay. Dot says upholstery thread in the bobbin about kills my 2010 broke the bobbin case. Kristen says I've used upholstery thread in the top and bobbin. Don't use the automatic thread cutter though. Cut by hand. Okay, great tips. Thank you. And then Renee said I tried upholstery thread and my 2010 Q had a fit. Good advice. Sounds like maybe you need a lighter thread in the bobbin. Again, I haven't done this myself, so I'm just throwing something out there, but maybe the 40 weight in the bobbin and the upholstery in the top. But again, I haven't done that myself.
I wonder if Juki has an actual department you can send an email to and ask, hey, I'd like to do this. Is this possible?
Oh, I don't know. I've not.
They might have a social media presence. You want to hit like, I don't know, something you want to look into. I would Google Juki, see what the options are to contact them, and I would ask them. They're the experts.
If you do have a Juki, there is a really great group on Facebook called Juki. I think it's called Juki TL Sewing Machines. It's been really helpful when I've had to troubleshoot in past years. And so it's just basically members in the group that know everything there is to know about the Juki TL sewing machine. So if you ever have any trouble and that's the machine you have, it's a really helpful group to join. Do you sell the tape for zippers, double-sided? Yes, so the double-sided tape is called Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape. And we have that on the website as well. I always try to keep at least 2 packs on hand because I go through it quite quickly.
Sorry,
That's okay. Susan says, I'm getting ready to buy a Juki TL 2010Q. Are there any must-haves that don't come with the machine? So first off, congratulations. I believe the 2010Q does not come with a walking foot. So if you like using a walking foot, maybe you're a quilter or you just like using it for bag layers, that's one of the things. The Teflon foot. I do actually have a Juki foot for my Juki sewing machine, but I also purchased over the years. Someone recommended the Juki, the Janome walking foot instead because it's quieter. So I have both, and the Janome walking foot is indeed a lot quieter than the one I purchased for my Juki. I'm not sure what the difference. I think someone said there's like a screw that's different, but it made a big difference sewing with a quieter foot because that loud one was just kind of annoying. Yvonne says,
I'll go back to it. Go ahead. I'll hit next.
Robin says, I also added the light kit from Sew Sweetness for the Juki 2010Q, and it made a world of difference. I can actually see my sewing now.
Commented that as well, so I don't know if they make a reference. Maybe they don't need an overhead light if it's for their sewing machine.
I'm really glad that you found the light helpful. Funny thing about my machine, the machine that we use for filming, I have actually, the light that's on the machine, I actually have a piece of black tape covering it, so I have no light because we can't have extra, or we prefer not to have all that extra light shining on the sewing machine when we have our video shots. So maybe I should pull my tabletop light over here, and that would be handy. Yvonne says, I need a hand press. What's the average price for a hand press? So I'm not sure if you're looking for those big steam presses or if you're looking for something. I do have for my Cricut Maker, I have an Easy Press. The Easy Press is basically a big square, comes in a few different sizes. I purchased the biggest one. I've used it for attaching vinyl to t-shirts, but I suppose it would also be good for pressing. I'm not sure if that's what you were looking for or if you were looking for the steam press. I do not have a steam press currently. I just don't have room in the studio for an extra
Before you address this
machine.
next one, did you say Juki Junkies on Facebook? Because there's a lot of people saying Juki
I didn't,
Junkies.
but why don't you post, or let me
I'll go right here.
Okay.
Go answer your question.
Patty says, do you put cork face up on a cutting machine or right side down? Probably, if you're using the Cricut Maker or something similar, probably right side up so it doesn't get the nice side of the cork stuck to the machine. It might be different for different brands of machines. I just have the Cricut Maker. Lisa is suggesting Juki Junkies on Facebook. Thank you for mentioning that. I've not heard of that group before, and a lot of other. Renee says Juki lovers on Facebook also. I didn't realize there were so many groups for Jukis. That's awesome, though. Oh. Karen says, Sarah, you are a lifesaver. Just made my first Super Bloom bag for Christmas gift, and that bottom was a nightmare for me. I pulled out Jack the Ripper several times, drew blood, but I prevailed. And it turned out just beautiful. Why? Because of your videos. Love you. Love your videos. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry you had a hard time with the bottom. I was working on a project over the weekend, and I had to pull out the seam ripper a bunch of times. In fact, we started watching a TV show, and I knew I had some seam ripping coming, so I was like, well, I'll just pull the project out while we're watching TV. I'll just get my seams taken care of. But I hope your recipient loves their Super Bloom for their holiday gift. Kathy says, by the way, I love your updated website. I'm so happy to hear that. So the customer account area is a little bit improved. We have thumbnails for the purchased pattern section of your account. We
Alphabetical
have
order.
Alphabetical order. We have an improved search function, so you can search not only the products on the website, but also things like blog posts by typing in, for example, the apple cake recipe. You can type that into the search, and that blog post will come up. What else has been improved? Lots of nice pictures and graphics on the website. So
hopefully easier to navigate as well.
We're very happy with it. Sarah says, I saw it, Danny. She's throwing things at you now. Angie says, can you remind me which Juki you have? So I have two. They're pretty much almost the exact same thing. They look the same and function the same. I have the Juki TL 2010Q, and I also have the Juki TL 2200 QVP Mini. Both are straight stitch only, and visually the only difference is the second one has like a blue strip on the side and the other one does not. So they sew exactly the same. Are you calling it on the question?
Yes, I am.
I apologize if I did not get to your question live, but I will be back again next Sunday with some great things to talk to you about. Danny will be back again 2 weeks from Sunday, so we rotate out. He's on the show every other Sunday.
I'll miss you guys.
One last thing for the show tonight. I have a giveaway tonight. I decided to give away 7 brand new spools of Aurifil thread in assorted colors, and all you have to do to enter the giveaway is answer my question wherever you watch the show, either on Facebook or YouTube. And my question is, what is your favorite holiday cookie? So let me know in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great week and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.